Hello, everybody, and welcome to Strength Hammer episode 15, 16. Who's counting? Dave.
I'm going to say 15. I have no idea.
Okay, we're going to go with that. I don't know either. Unless Matt knows.
16.
We're on 16. He looked it up. Okay, welcome to episode 16. The Backyard Invitational 2020. With special guest, Mike Ryan.
Hello.
Let's go through our little intro bits as we usually do. But actually, no, before that, we should probably introduce Mike Ryan a little bit more in depth. Mike, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do for the Age of Sigmar community, and throw in your handle if you feel like giving out your social medias early.
If I knew them, I'd give them to you. But what I do for the community is not much lately. Hasn't been much to do, so I guess that's what this episode's about. Talk about the one thing I did this whole year, pretty much, for AOS. I'm in the Pittsburgh area. I run one of the clubs down there. We kind of have one at every store, but I run the one out of Legions, which is currently still not open. So we've just all been kind of gaming in houses and porches and backyards.
Mm-hmm.
The underground basement, formerly known as Legions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Steel City Sigmar group, correct?
Yeah, should have said that correct. Steel
Yep.
City Sigmar.
Yep, find them on
Find
Facebook.
Greatest Age of Sigmar club in the greater Pittsburgh region.
Is
One
Ligonier-
could say that.
Is Ligonier's not greater Pittsburgh. We're rural. Okay. Yeah. Greatest one. We got that. We'll go with that.
Ligonier
You
is
aspire
less
to
than
greater Pittsburgh area. That's not quite close enough.
Well, once you get out of Legions, you'll probably get there.
Yeah.
Oh. Anyway,
Keep the gloves up, Chuck. Come on, it's a family-friendly show.
what? No, I love the Steel City Pittsburgh. I hate Legions. Legions is a shithole. Sorry. Step up your game, Legions.
He's not
Support
wrong.
your local friendly gaming store.
But it has to be friendly. That's
Local game store with one urinal, one bathroom, and
No,
working
it
sinks.
has a bunch. It has
Wait
a
a minute.
bunch of urinals installed. It just has one working urinal and one working store.
I was concerned that you said one urinal and one bathroom as if those are two completely separate entities. And in this corner of the building is the bathroom, and over here is just the random urinal.
Just really
See, what you guys do wrong every time you go there is you use the public side. You just got to use the employee bathroom. That's what I've been doing.
They
I don't
have
even
this,
ask.
in the back, they have this bucket for the leaky roof. I just use that.
Oh boy.
Ugh,
Well,
good look.
yeah, definitely check out Steel City Sigmar on Facebook. Mike does do regular events whenever the world's not locked down for whatever reason. So yeah, check it out. Give him some love. I'll include his Twitter handle in the show notes because I do have it on my phone. But that's Miko-san
Nice.
something. Miko-san 82? I think it might be at
1802.
1802. There we go.
Yeah,
But
trying to make it difficult.
of course. But well, for now we'll do our intro bits where we talk about our hobby and our fitness. We'll start with Dave this time. What's on your hobby table, and what's been your fitness improvements?
Well, the hobby table is now that for this invitational that we're talking about, I completed my 2,000 point Ogre Maw tribes, so got everything painted, which means that I have now moved on officially to the 180 Noblars. Because not only did I make a big mistake, I dove in head first to the big mistake. So 180 Noblars coming right at you.
You gonna contrast those, or you gonna paint them like classical style?
I'm going to go with sort of a mix. It's going to be classic style, but definitely shooting for tabletop. So contrast plus, we'll say.
Okay.
Where do you get 180 Noblars?
I ordered them special through my friendly local game shop, Battlegrounds.
That is a very
ordered them
friendly
up
and
for
good.
me.
Yep, friendly and good.
Yep. And so he I acquired them slowly through him. 8 goddamn boxes of 35. or 24, 8 boxes of 24. That's what it was. So I have 192 of these things. So I can run 3 units of 60. So that's, needless to say, slow going on the hobby table right now. And the fitness side, I've been slowed down by the fact that my wife and I got tested for COVID this week. So that's been fun.
Yeah.
I don't recommend it. The test is really invasive. They shove this thing deep in your nose. Not a fun feeling. But it's a fight for mental health right now is the key. So
Yeah, that's I think that's the hardest struggle for a lot of people right now. Definitely the mental game.
Yeah.
So, but
getting there.
we'll throw it over to Matt next. Let's see what he's got going on.
Well, fitness, we got 2 different aspects this week. One, at the beginning of the week, I attempted to do some squats.
Nice. Just some basic air squats, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. That put me out for like 3 days after.
Gets easier.
And then also this week, during the Amazon Prime days, we bought a new TV, which required us to get a new TV stand. So that had us doing moving very many heavy things from upstairs to downstairs, from Best Buy to the house to the. So that was like 4 hours of that stuff, which was yesterday. So I'm still feeling it today. So has to count if it's burning, right?
It's an iffy one.
Yeah,
Well,
Mike says yes.
Oh, Mike says yes? All
Mike
right.
says
Well, he's the guest, so
Okay.
sure it counts.
I mean, the only thing, if it's sore, you're growing, right? As far as hobby stuff goes, I finally finished all of my custom bases for my Lumineth. Well, for my first half of the Lumineth army, for the Techless and Spears list.
Mm-hmm. Your second half is all the stone stuff,
right?
mountains.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and I shouldn't say half because it's literally one full list is the Techless and Spears. The second list is cows and hammers.
Okay.
And then because of that, the weird Warhammer email that went out a couple weeks ago about if you buy this random amount, we give you a coupon for this random amount. So I took advantage of that, and so I bought my first Stone Guard, and I bought Warden Hood, or the Warden's
The Eternal Guard kit.
Eternal Guard kit, and I used the Warden Hoods instead of the Bullheads, because that was honestly like the biggest attracting factor of the whole army aesthetically. But Chuck lucked out because I gave him all the Bullheads because I'd want them.
Yep. Once that gets to me, I'll talk about that. But now let's see, Mike. I hope you've done some fitness lately. I know you got some hobby because I can see it.
Yeah. Still doing the paint night. Fitness-wise, I just you guys met my dog. Pretty active. We tend to walk every day. Try to.
That's great.
Hill goes right up across the street from my house. We walk up there, walk around the block. Try to do that as much as possible. Other than that, not a whole lot lately.
I don't know, daily walks are a great way to definitely just get it in. You know, it doesn't seem like much, but that adds up over the year. And yeah, your dog would be pulling you every which way.
Yeah.
So half you walk the dog, half the dog walks you.
Yeah, that's how I get up the hill. The dog drags you up, and then at the top, I kind of take over. But yeah,
You need to get some adult Heelys.
Yeah.
it's not a bad idea.
Those were never a good idea.
Yeah.
Wait, you could get that new, like, was it the one wheel that's off-roading skateboard with the giant wheel in the center? You always get that.
Yeah.
They could keep up.
Try that out.
But how's the Ideneth going? Because you are
Pretty good.
yeah in our, I guess, local painting meta, you're one of the top, if not the top painters going
Thank you.
on. Well, like I said, you know, downside of that is you don't paint many armies. You have a beautiful Stormcast army, and Ideneth is your second, correct?
Yep, it's the second AOS army that I'm really putting the time into. I had a bunch of bits and stuff at the beginning, but this is the second full AOS army outside of Stormcast. And it's a whole different palette from my Stormcast, so it's kind of nice.
Yeah.
I painted some Stormcast on quarantine. Now I'm switching back to Ideneth just to cleanse that.
Yeah, round it out. Do you have is it Ideneth for the foreseeable future, or is it kind of reaching somewhat near an end that you might be looking at your next army soon?
I'd say it's reaching an end.
Okay.
I mean, it's a pretty small range. I have everything I want, I think, that I could possibly want. So I think I have 21 eels and 40 thralls and 4 sharks and a turtle and an eidolon.
So
most of that stuff's painted, so it's not too bad.
What you really need to do is just paint up 40 marauders next, just to throw like our local meta through a loop and make them go, "What? What are you doing?"
No.
Nice. Well, for myself, fitness, my home gym is not. There's always more I'm going to add to it, but I can officially say it's up and running. I've had multiple workouts in it. It officially has a name now. Originally, I was going to call it the Anvil of Apotheosis, but when I thought about putting that on a sign, like even like I was like, that's a pain in the ass. So I kind of put like a question out on Twitter, and had to come back the most simple answer, Gaines Workshop. So thank you, Studio Erstwood on Twitter. One, for doing fantastic hobby, but two, for just being like, choose the simple answer. It's the best answer. So I took some time today and I painted up like a sign, like just with some freehand, just says Gaines Workshop and Gym really small in the corner. Put on a Sigmar logo and a Kraith logo because gotta keep my theme.
Oh, does that mean whenever you get done doing a rep, you have to roll a 6 to see if you have to do another one?
Well, it fucking does now. All right, I'm okay. Yeah, I got it.
Nicely done, Matt. Nicely done.
Listen, I don't want you tell your wife you did it yourself. It's not Matt's fault. That's
I just want to point out this is exactly how I started painting 180 Noblars. Shame is a powerful tool.
In 6 months, I'm gonna be like wider than I am tall, and you'll have 180 Noblars, and we'll just both we'll be like, "What the hell's wrong with us?"
Yeah.
Outside,
Don't try to answer that. That's a pit with no bottom.
as well as fitness, I've been on a diet since my event, the Teyrathi Invitational. I started that the day after. Kept it pretty solid to 2,000 points. Or 2,000 points, God. 2,000 calories.
It's all the same.
Yeah, it does work.
wow. You know what? I think you might be onto something there. If you do like the AOS diet where you can choose like 3 liters, like breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and then then you need at least 3 battle line of something like salads,
Carrots,
fruits, and vegetables.
That's actually, to tell the truth, I've been looking at trying to do like, not necessarily like a diet plan, but kind of like form a sort of like small group, see if people want to do it, and like actually try and figure out how to do that sort of stuff. I'm also going to go through it myself with pay someone to help me with my diet and fitness a little bit more, so I can maybe do that to help people on a lower end per se. You know what I mean? Like people just getting into it. So that's not a bad idea, actually. It makes it fun. Training topic. Oh yeah. So yeah, I've been on that diet because normally my maintenance for my weight and activity levels was around 3,000. But this week I'm gonna start going into 1,600, 1,750, 1,600. We'll see. Like depends on like how active my days are. So that starts tomorrow. And I'm also doing the Sober October, which, obviously if you're listening to this show, you also listen to the Joe Rogan podcast. I mean, if you listen to him, you might as well listen to us. He's the one that I think coined it. That's where I heard about it first. But yes, Mike takes a big swig of an Oktoberfest, Sam Adams. Yeah, so
Well, again, I mean,
Yeah,
could you pick a worse month? I mean,
that everyone keeps saying that, but that's the reason you choose the hard month, because then it's easy elsewhere. You know what I mean?
but you only get Oktoberfest 1 month out of the year. It's not like
But
oh,
it's
I'll
usually
just-
September. I had Oktoberfest and
Well,
pumpkin
that's
beer in
true.
September.
That's
It's just like Halloween Oreos. I have Oreos once a year, and it's in Halloween, and I have to buy them well before Halloween.
What's the one for Reddit? Is that NoFap November? Well, who cares? Like, you're gonna be around family most of the month anyway. So that's
Yeah, that's easy.
It's not bikini season.
Why does that still have to follow the fact that you're with family?
I don't want to know about your
I'm
family.
really concerned here, Matt. I'm really concerned with where you're going with your family in bikini season.
Wow. That's a sight. Anyway. So, yeah, I got another couple weeks of no alcohol. It's fine. I'm not an alcoholic, so it's really you know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm such a great person. I'm like, I'm just not putting it in my body for a month. Okay, sure. Moving on.
There's a strength hammer here. Lift 1,000 pounds a day. Drink them all away. Woo!
Oh no. Maybe one day, if I lift 1,000 pounds, I'll become an alcoholic. How's that sound? Because I know it. I will never lift 1,000 pounds in a deadlift.
I just want to be clear. There's a pretty big gap between not drinking for a month and alcoholic, though. Yeah, I just want to point that out.
Narrow margin.
Narrow margin.
There's a big gap.
2020 is really hard. All right, let's.
That's true. Yes.
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 As far as hobby table, I painted up some historical miniatures.
I didn't know you were that old yet.
I know, it's weird how it works that way. I didn't hate it because I could just... Okay, here's a secret about historical war game miniatures. All the people painting it are old and can't see anyway, so you don't have to really try. I painted 24 models in a day and I was done. I was like, boom.
Well, it's not the details, it's the color shade.
Right.
You get it off by half. That's not what they wore in that platoon.
God. You know what, like... That was like, I actually did take my time. I'm like, all right, I will do this right. I, have an Osprey book about it was Romans, so about the Marian Romans. Made sure I matched the colors as best as I could. Because, like, hell, when I painted my Dark Angels at the beginning of this year, I was going to do the gun casing in purple just to be different. Put that picture up on Twitter. First 30 seconds, hey, those gun casings are supposed to be red. I'm like, what the hell? Like, seriously? All right, fine. I just painted them red just to move on with my life. Like,
sure. I was like, you know what? Bright yellow, done.
How about a slightly different shade of green? We're camouflaging. But yeah, so did that. Still working on Lumineth, thanks to Matt's contribution of extra hammer bits and
spread the light, praise the sun.
Yay! Yeah, you gave me what? What? That must be important to interrupt me. Go ahead.
It wasn't important. It was on purpose.
I think he just wet himself.
The Techless T-pose is the Dark Souls Praise the Sun pose.
Oh.
That's going to be a shirt.
Yeah, better be. I'll try and make that shirt tomorrow before I release this, and we'll capitalize on that. Yeah. So thanks to Matt's contribution of all the cow helms and extra hammer heads, because you used a diamond pick, correct?
Yes.
Yours? Yeah. So I pulled out 5 white lions, extra white lions that I had. They were painted, but they were painted like in ghostly colors because they were used during the end times whenever anyone could summon undead. That's what I've been doing with my Lumineth. I've been mixing in some old high elves just to give them new life. So I did a head swap and I did a weapon swap, and on one of them I gave them a banner. And they look freaking great. People seem to really dig them. My favorite part was whenever I realized that the lion helm was the exact same height as the new cow helm that everyone says was too large.
I never said it was too large. I always said it was too ugly.
Some people said ugly. Some people said ugly. They look. And the best part was I posted that picture, went to bed, woke up the next day, and then a good friend of the show, Tectonic Craft Studios, Dan over there, go check him out. He just responded in like my DMs. He didn't say anything. He just says, "Ha, mountain lions." And I'm like, I didn't even think of that. But yeah, I got those, and then I actually have the Lumineth Endless Spells on my desk next, and then actually there'll be new Daughters of Cain coming out in a few weeks with the Catacombs Warcry set that was revealed today, so that's exciting.
Did they give a date on that?
Pre-orders for it go up next Saturday.
Oh,
So
nice.
it's 2 weeks away. Yeah, I've already found someone in the local club who is willing to sell me the Daughters of Cain half, because I don't care about anything else. Yes. So, intro bit done. Congrats, guys. We got through it.
Hooray.
So today we're going to talk about the event Mike put on for us. Not too long ago. Was it last weekend or was it 2 weekends ago? Am I losing my mind?
It was the 10th.
10th. Okay.
Still last weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was last weekend. Wow. Okay.
Feels like it was 2 years ago.
It does.
Time moves strangely in the pandemic.
Yes.
Time doesn't move in the pandemic.
Yeah.
It doesn't move, then it jumps ahead.
Yeah.
So yeah, you put on a wonderful event for
Oh, thank you.
for the three of us, the two of us. No, three. There's three of us here. I always don't include myself. That's actually
You were there.
Yeah, that's why Neil isn't with us today. Well, two reasons. One, he's camping, and he said, "Screw you guys." He was very vulgar about it. I won't. This is family friendly. I won't say exactly what he said. And two, he wasn't able to attend your event.
Right.
So he'd be sitting here quietly, just making fun of us.
That's how I shamed you into having me on. I told you were going to have Neil on to talk about my event, and he wasn't even there.
Get shamed. But yeah, Mike, why don't you tell us, the type of event it was, run through who you invited, and just give us a little preview, a little taste of it.
All right. I got the whole idea from your backyard event, oddly enough, and wasn't too dissimilar. Threw up some canopies in the back, and Ben was nice enough to bring the tent that he had taken to your place, so we had some cover. I've got a big enough yard, and after I went to yours and had such a good time, I thought, this is something I could do before the weather gets too cold. If I could squeeze it in, we can have one more glorious day of Sigmar before the winter hits. So I just wanted to do something like that and have a lot of the same guys, but also invite some Pittsburgh bros up. So we had Chris and Okami came up. Of course, Matt, kind of doubles for every club in the area. Just cooked some burgers outside, hung out, drank some beers. It was great.
Yeah.
I had a blast.
Yeah, so
Something laid back.
It was definitely a great time. And like I said, so I guess to run through it, we had Ben from my local club. We also had Alex from my local club. He's our Russian friend who's been on before. Actually, Ben's been on before too, I believe, with the 40K episode. Maybe he wasn't. Okay, getting to know. We'll get him on. We'll get him on here soon for some reason, and I'll forget about it. Then he'll shame me on, just like Mike did. So we had Ben, Alex, myself, Matt, Chris, Bill, Souza.
Yep.
We had Dave.
Yep.
And Okami. That was it.
Yep.
Eight of us. Yeah, that was a great crowd. And big shout out to Okami. He just came up with presents for everybody.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
A beautiful.
Made me feel like human garbage for having nothing.
Yeah, beautiful leather journal. A neat little wood pencil that looks like a little tree, and a dice cup and some dice and some random tokens and a base. Yeah,
It was great. He really went all out.
Yeah,
I would say I feel like most people brought donuts. I don't know if that was true, but it felt like it.
My gift was not bringing donuts.
And you were the one who did, because we were eating donuts for days after that, after you guys left. My family was like, this was great.
You need to do this more often.
Yeah.
Okay.
They were fine with it.
Yeah, I know. Me, Ben, and Alex drove up together, and when we got there, it was a fun trip. I won't lie. It's weird. You live in a place that's it feels more remote than I think it actually is.
Yeah, it's not that bad.
Yeah, we managed to go through the most backwater of towns that you have near you in search of coffee and couldn't find any.
Wait, I tried to figure out how you guys came, and I think I finally did at the end, but you took the turnpike all the way to 18, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah, no.
You should have got off in Cranberry. You could have had anything you wanted.
I know.
Anything.
Next year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, rocked up, you had a campfire going early in the morning. Tables were set up. We just had to set up the one tent. You had cinnamon rolls made in the oven and a skillet.
God, those
that was
were
the
amazing.
best. And then
Yeah,
you had the
thanks.
fresh cup of coffee, upon request.
Yep.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem. Tried to be a good host. I really wanted to make sure we got 8 so that I could just like host the thing and just be there, just wander around.
Yeah,
But,
eight's the magic number. I don't know. Like, I want to grow mine next year a little bit, but I don't.
right.
Because eight's just so easy.
Yeah, it was a good number.
It would be nice to be able to accommodate more people, but in a residential area, I don't think it's possible.
Yeah, I mean that was enough. There was enough of us there. It was fine.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Well, Mike, with your yard, we could probably have a small Nova going on there.
Oh yeah, probably could. Yeah.
Yeah, get enough tables and stuff. Yeah,
that's
good. But
the tables will be the bigger challenge then.
Yeah, well, that's your entrance fee. Is you have to bring one table. That's
Honestly, I mean, the UK guys, a lot of events do it where you have to bring 3 to 5 pieces of terrain or whatever. I mean, if these local types of events is what's going to happen for the foreseeable future, which who knows, I think it's fine to be like, hey, everyone bring half a table's worth of terrain, and that's that's sort of like part of your entry fee. That's a pretty good way to do it. That's an easy way to like add a few more people in.
Bill and I
I'm
spent a
concerned
bunch of
about the
time.
physical tables.
Yeah.
Like more so than the terrain. It's like, what are we playing on? Like, we can set up terrain in the grass, but that's going to be limiting.
Lose some models in there.
some
Yeah,
gobblers.
Yeah. I will say terrain was one of the easier things to get a hold of. Like, most people seem to volunteer up, like, hey, I got a table's worth of terrain I can bring. Like, it was something pretty much everybody has a bit of, I feel like. So I don't think that's out of the question. Like you said, if that's the type of events that are going to be going on, I think most people will be able to scare up 3 pieces of terrain.
Yeah, it should be easy. But we do need to, actually, before we go into like our games and talk about this a little bit more in depth, I want to bring something up that's the elephant in the room for me. It's Cub. That was right. Cube or Cub? Okay, it's Cube. I keep mixing it up. Sorry, Cube. Cube is the best yard game I have ever played. Now, I'm saying this being like 3-0 lifetime here.
As retiring as the champion.
Has nothing to do with it. It's just a good game.
I would just like to put on record that I have beat Bill Souza in a competitive game. It was Cube. All right?
That's not saying much. So Bill's Cube game is like his magic phase. It's terrible.
No, Chuck, what you need to say is that you beat Bill Souza at an Age of Sigmar event.
That's true. I put him at ease and dropped his guard by losing the game on the table to go beat him at Cube.
You were playing the long game. That's the way to do it.
It is. Yes, go KUBB. It is the best yard game. If it's not at every Age of Sigmar event I attend from here on out, I will riot.
It's that good.
It is that good.
It really is. It was surprising.
And for
no
people
idea.
unaware of what the game is at all, you basically just stand a couple yards apart from each other and throw sticks at each other. There you go.
Yeah, that's the 2-minute version.
It's strategic stick throwing. Yeah, all right. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. But so I guess Dave, Matt, and myself as the players will run through some games, and Mike, interject as much as you want.
Right.
But yeah, I had a great time, and like I'll say this, my first I'll go first. So my first game was against Matt, which was fun because Mike, did you set up pairing specifically, or did you just let it happen on BCP as on its own?
Well, Alex had grudged Bill, or vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to make that matchup happen. When I first pulled up the pairings, it was not the case. So I was like, well, I'll just randomize them again, or reset it. And came back up, and the second time, it had it automatically loaded them as playing together.
Oh, okay.
Like, I'll just leave it like that. And then it mostly looked like everyone, the Pittsburgh guys were playing, your crowd and stuff. But somebody had to lose or win, depending on how you look at it. So you and Matt got drawn together.
Okay, sure. There's only one grudge. Just keep going until it matches. That's fine. I like that.
Right.
Oh, I'm always happy to see Chuck round one. Get that loss out of the way.
Well, it's Matt's got to be like, Matt, when you're looking at playing me, maybe. Is Chuck bringing Daughters of Cain that he's played for the past 2.5 years? Yes? Ah, shit. Is he bringing anything else? Oh, hot damn. Like, that's how our games go. Like, I can beat you with my dog. I feel comfortably 9 times out of 10. But everything else, I'm like, whew, what do I do? Oh, God. Even if I know how to play the army, it's just like, you know how to pick it apart better.
Yeah, well, that's one thing is like, I actually am very familiar with your army at this point, but it's like, okay, what do I have that can take out 30 buffed witch elves? Nothing. Okay, great. What do I have that can reach past the witch elves to take out the hags? Nothing. Great.
Well, it's like, this is your Fire Slayer list, which is your current default list. Like, that's what you comfortably play with all the time.
Yeah.
With Gotrek.
Hey, you're going to have something for those hags when you get the Lumineth going with the archers.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun fight then.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
For me.
For you,
For me,
yeah.
it's going to be a fun fight.
Yeah, for you, it's going to be great. I'm going to be like, oh, okay.
Hey, where's them buffs? Oh, why where are all those witch elves going now?
Time for sweet vengeance, man.
I just want to say this. I've always been a Calibron fan for that -1 to shoot them. Yeah, -2 for the heroes since they'll be next to units. So I just want to put that out right,
That's fine. I'm only looking for natural 6s, so.
That's true. All right. Yeah, so I ran my traditional Kraith list. I brought out... not traditional Kraith list. I ran Kraith with some Witch Elves. There's a Slaughter, which I don't normally run. And a Cauldron Guard with Marathi. So I had a 3-drop list. And boy, it was fun. I forgot how fun Marathi was to play.
Yeah.
Matt, what was your list you brought?
Mine was any Fire Slayer player will be like, what the hell are you thinking? I was just mainly coming to have fun because I'm not painting 60 more Hearthguard to put the army on the shelf once I'm done with Lumineth. So it was 2 block of 10 Hearthguard Berserkers, 1 with flails, 1 with poleaxes, a unit of 10 Volkite with shields and picks, standard hero array, Runefather. I'm blanking. Just the standard ones.
Yeah.
And Gotrek.
Yeah.
There he is.
I just, whether he lives or dies, it is so much fun to just watch my opponents calculate what to do next.
There was a fun standoff where because I transformed Marathi round 1 and just threw him at you. And it was near Gotrek, and Gotrek could have easily made it there. Gotrek just walked past, looking at her, going, nope.
Nope, back was turned the whole time.
Yep, wasn't even acknowledging her presence.
Again, I'm not going to take a model, that I missed combat on the first round.
Yeah.
That is a quarter of my army that is capable of doing 30 to 40 plus wounds into a model that can only take 3.
Yeah, you'd be... Yeah.
Are you saying you did the math on that one, Matt?
Yeah, I calculated it out a little bit. Me, Bill, and Roger, we had a powwow, and I was like, okay, how do I put Gotrek up against Marathi? And they're like, just go straight for it. I'm like, I think you guys are wrong.
I mean, I can't say your strategy wasn't sound because you wiped out a lot of stuff. I just hung on with a few clutch saves and just had enough, heroes to keep objectives nearby. And then the Canary dropping down kind of saved my butt.
Yeah, basically, I had enough gas in the tank to take care of the Witch Elves, but the added units really, that was just more than my momentum had stalled at that point. So
yeah,
all a tactical victory in your favor.
Yep, I took the mighty win. I had a great time. Dave, how did your first game go? Who did you play?
My first game, I played against Chris and his Magma Dross Heavy Fire Slayers list. He was running 5 of those bad boys with 3 units of 5 little dwarves on foot. I have no idea what they were. I do not understand what those units are. Anyway, they were chaff, effectively. And it was a really fun game. Those Magma Droths were nasty. Those are fast. They melt stuff when they die. It was problematic. But he made a severe tactical error in getting too aggressive to kill my stuff instead of taking the objectives. And because of that, I was able to take the victory in round 1.
Nice.
But
Boy, that
I
doesn't
mean,
sound like Chris at all.
he got a little bloodthirsty, and yeah, it was a great game though. I really enjoyed that. And oh man, those things were nasty. I'd never fought the Magmadroths before, so
It looked like a great game with all the big monsters on the table.
yeah, he melted most of mine early. he took Stonehorns off the table like round 1 and 2, and I thought it was going to go real south real fast. But my Mornfang actually ended up pulling it out for me.
Nice.
So
there you go.
worked for me.
How did you oversee round 1 as a whole, Mike?
It was great. It was a good start. I mean, I think everybody was ready to go, so obviously no issues there. But I had a great time just walking around, looking at all the games and the tables and stuff, and talking to everybody. It seemed like it was fun.
Nice. Any standout moments on any tables that you saw?
I can't remember the standout moments other than Dave charging 2 Stonehorns into the 5 Magmadroths, just right into their jaws, like turn 1. I was like, "Oh, Dave, are you sure about that one?"
I was sure until I saw the aftermath. Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I mean that was my favorite moment anyway.
All right, so we'll go into round 2, and Dave, we'll keep with you. What was your round 2?
My round 2 was against Ben from Ligonier and his Beasts of Chaos. And I think I benefited here from army balance to some extent. Because talking with Ben, it feels like his list and his army theme was like my army theme, but the junior varsity version. My army theme was, I'm going to get up there, and I'm going to beat the hell out of you, and I'm going to do it fast, and I'm going to do it hard. And that was his theme too, but it could not go punch for punch with my stuff.
But it was with Beasts of Chaos.
Yeah, it was Ogre Maw Tribes versus Beasts of Chaos. It was Ivan Drago versus Apollo Creed. It was ugly, but it was a lot of fun, and I think a lot of the success I had was actually based on Ben failing a 9-inch charge with his Cygor, I think it was, the big giant thingy. He failed his turn 1 charge, and then I double turned him and was able to turn the tide quickly.
Yeah, to Ben's credit, and I will touch on this probably at the end, that was his first fully painted 2,000-point army for any game system. And meanwhile, he's been playing 40K a lot longer, so I feel, as the AOS person in the club that runs that, I feel proud.
and correct me if I'm wrong, he won Best Painted for the event.
He did.
So.
But he definitely painted to 2,000 points with what he wanted. But on the car ride home, the first thing he says, I gotta get rid of that Cygar. I gotta paint up something. We're like, me and Alex were like, yeah, it's a good plan. We think you should do that too.
Maybe we'll get him a Mega Gargant, huh?
Yeah, that'd be fun. Matt, what? Dave, that was encompassed it. Okay, so make sure I didn't cut you off there. Matt, how about your second game?
I had a quick round 2 with Alex. He brought his heavy ranged Cities of Sigmar list. So if I could get anything my dwarves touched, they melted. However, that doesn't really help whenever I can't get to the giant block of, I think there were the crossbowmen, which were doing like 60 shots around. And of course, you know how he loves his buffs. It's like hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s, re-rolling everything, increasing rend.
He plays Skaven too. Like, that's his style army. Buffs.
Well,
he's good. Yeah.
He was very nervous because Gotrek actually survived.
No, I think you're right. I think you're right. Gotrek surrounded his army.
He survived an entire round of that shooting, and then he still had to put the whole block into him for the second round to get him off the table.
Oh.
He still chewed through that block of halberds or halberdiers or whatever they're called. He destroyed that in 2 combats. So he may have died, But
he died doing what he loved.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, that one. Like I said, it was a very. There was not a surprising outcome on that one.
Well, he was playing Hallowheart, so he had all the spells in the world.
Yep.
You know, he had, because I say this because I played him as on my third round, but yeah, he had
You forgot to state how many times you crafed during our game.
Oh, you're right. Let's let me get my little book back out here, my Age of Sigmar game journal.
Let me pull out my tome of Go Fuck Yourself.
I create the total of 3 times.
Yeah, that's not.
Yep, and
That's less than I do.
yeah,
I don't know what that is. Is that a euphemism for something? I don't.
Oh, actually, are you real quick? Are you being serious, or are you just messing with me?
I absolutely have no idea what it means.
Okay, no,
Crate.
perfectly fine. It's probably good to explain. So I play essentially what is thought of as the least competitive temple for Dodge Kane, Kraith. They're called the Kraith. Their big ability is after I finish attacking with anything in the combat phase of mine, I roll a dice. On a 6, I can pile in and attack again. Yeah.
Is it
And how
only
many
your
times did you
combat
do it?
phase?
It's only... no, it's in the combat phase. So it's either combat phase. Yes.
Yeah, normally I'm like, okay, I'm gonna have to eat one crate, and then we'll move on from that. And it happened early in the game. I'm like, okay, well, at least it's happening now. Nope, then it happened again, and I'm like, okay, and then it happened again. I'm like,
Yeah.
all right.
And it's like when it happens on like a Hag Queen, it's like, woo, okay, I got the tally. But when it happens on almost anything else, it's like, woo, that's gonna die.
Yeah, this was like during a UFC fight with one guy tapping and the other guy going, I don't give a fuck.
All right. Anyway, go ahead and finish up your round 2, Matt.
Yeah, like I said, it was not a good matchup for me, but regardless of that, like I said, I mean, as always, Alex is an amazing player. He always brings it all. He's always super fair.
Did he celebrate your losses? Like whenever you miss something, did
Yeah.
he go like, yeah? Because that was my whole game with him.
I mean, oh yeah. I mean, not,
Okay, all right.
I thought you meant he'd celebrate my loss.
No, not the loss as a whole, but like the minor things, like where you miss hitting him, and he cheers to himself, and it's like, really? Come on, Alex.
No, he was always like, I mean, it was he, as always, he's just top sportsman.
He is.
He cheers for you just as much as he's happy whenever he rolls well, and if you don't roll well, he doesn't even feel good about it. So it's, yeah, it's always a great loss.
Well, my second game was against I'm trying to think, magnificent Bill Sousa, Captain America. We'll go with magnificent for him. I think that's fair. He had his Flesh Eater Courts army, which, if you look at Bell of Lost Souls as of Sunday, the 18th of October, it was the list of the week, even though Bill will tell you it's not the best list you could ever take. It's just what he wanted. It was Bill self-comping himself for the event of who he's playing. Like, we're all decent players that
More on the casual side.
yeah,
We have all successfully read the rules for the game. That's
yeah.
that's our qualification.
Right. And like I said, Bill also likes the challenge of taking something that you look at on paper, but like, that'll never work, and just dominating with it. He can do that at major events too, so all credit there. But I was happy to play him. I've always had great games against Bill. I've always learned a lot whenever I play those games. And I went into this game like looking to give him my all, and I felt pretty good. I think it was around turn 3. I just started running out of gas. I popped Marathi. I threw her in right away just to hold up his army for a couple turns, and he did his diligence. He put the 3 wounds on her each time. Couple mistakes I made in it. He had the Chalice Endless spell, which allows you to bring back ghouls. Essentially, I should have dispelled that. I got a little bit buck fever going into the second turn, forgot to dispel it, and cast Mind Razor on Marathi, and I was like, whoop, wait, shoot. Probably should have got rid of that. Oh well, moving on. And I kind of underestimated how much his flares, I forget what they are, the winged things.
Yeah, the flares. They're really fast.
They're faster than I gave him credit for. I thought I had them blocked out with my unit of 5 Canary when I should have put down all. I had a unit of 10 to unit of 5. I should have put down all of them and just blocked them out for sure, like to the table edge, because he was able to get around, and then I think it was on turn 3, and it once he got into like my back line, it was just like, him being able to regenerate, me being unable to, was just kind of like it just slipped away. But still a really good game. Like I said, learned a lot. We called it at the end of bottom of 4 because it just reached mathematically impossible for me to get there, and we had already either satisfied or missed getting our secondary objectives, so it was like, okay, I'll just stop here. But it was a major loss, but like at the bottom of 4, he had a total points of 18, I had 16, but then again he had all the objectives but 1, so it was kind of like, okay. It was Star Strike. Yeah, it was Star Strike. So he was going to score a crap ton of points at the last round for what he had. Biggest thing about this game for me, I had 5 Kraiths. Yeah, it was great. I mean, I Kraith I think twice on Marathi, so she was just wrecking ghouls for them to come back. But like, boy, did it just feel good being like, Bill was cheering louder than I was for Kraith at this point. He's just like, get it, do it. This is awesome.
He's like, those ghouls are coming right back.
Yep. I'm excited. It'll probably be on Tabletop Simulator, but we're going to play a game, and he's going to try running a Kraith list. I'm like, I want someone to experience this joy since I'm the only person in the world that runs Kraith. Like, you guys don't understand how much of a drug hit this is. This is like gambling, rolling that 6. But yeah, no,
I look forward to seeing the article on Bella Lost Souls where the Kraith list is now list of the week.
That'd be awesome. But yeah, great game. Like I said, Bill's a wonderful opponent as always. You learn a lot, you have fun, and yeah, can't give any higher compliment.
And then you guys went and played a game of Cube. Your first game of Cube.
Yes, he taught me Cube, and there was some I was probably bending the rules as far as possible because we weren't looking up official rules. So my throw could be seen as illegal. We learned that after the fact. But
his throw was so suspect that we had to look up the official rules because we were like, that doesn't look right.
Well, I mean, you guys just said throw it underhand, so I did my best, and I mean, I course corrected after, but Bill still gives me that win. He'll give me crap about it, but I'll take it.
Well, you still won later after the correction, so it was fine.
Yeah. It just took a little bit longer. It takes forever to win a game when you're not cheating.
Some of those games can go for a while, depending on how often you trade the field cubes back and forth.
Yeah.
Could take a while.
It's time well spent. That was probably the hardest because that's the game I wish I had a beer in my hand. So, but I already have a cube set in my Amazon wish list, so I'll have it here by springtime of next year.
Good.
So
I will say the game definitely gets better with a beer in your hand.
I can only imagine. Well, Mike, do you have any standouts from round 2?
No, I don't think so. Just the Cube game between you and Bill. That was the exciting part for me.
Yeah, you were our line judge, so you got into it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think I was doing some grilling and stuff too during round 2. So
yeah, you fed us some
quite as much
burgers, hot dogs. You even grilled the buns. Yeah. It was perfect.
Those burgers were amazing, Mike. I don't know. I don't know what voodoo you worked with them, but they were fantastic.
Yeah,
I'm gonna say it was the griddle, the big flat top.
I'll tell you, man. Most people don't think about it, but a burger on a griddle. Whew.
There's something about it.
It works.
Now, how many pounds of meat would you say that was? 15, 20?
No, I know exactly how many it was. It was 5.
That was only 5 pounds.
Yeah, total.
Wow.
All right. Well, we were all fed. We were all sitting. Dave, you were on 2 victories. Matt, you're on 2 losses, and I was 1-1. So we were heading into round 3. I think I'll start with this one. I played Alex in his Hallow Heart list, and I was giving him. Alex and I play very, very often, and so like I give him shit in the friendliest ways because he's very good. Like he explains an army like no one else. Like he makes sure his opponents know what is going on, and he has learned that I don't care. I'm like, Alex, I know what you're doing. Just go ahead and roll it. Or in this case, he's casting 17 spells. I have 2 dispels. I've missed them both, or I've gotten them already, and he's like, "This gonna do this one." I'm just like, Alex, you just roll and you do you, and whenever I can play again, tell me. But I will say this: he was cheering for my losses, not my losses in my game, but I missed a few clutch rolls, and he was like, "Yes," and I'm like, "What the hell are you doing? Like what?" No. He is a great opponent. He has a very tough list. I actually spent the next day talking to a group of people. What can I do to improve my list to specifically beat his? Because I think that's the war we're going to be in. Is we're just going to keep meta chasing against each other's lists until the end of time. So I'm looking forward to our next game. We actually have one planned this week, so. We'll see if I can reclaim some vengeance here. The only sad note, I did lose this game. Alex definitely took it. It was a definitely good game. I had a double in 2 into 3, but then he took the double 3 into 4, and it was just like at that point, that's when he ran away with it. Like he had the double at the right time, and I just couldn't survive his onslaught. I was probably playing a little bit too defensive as well, which is weird. Like I'm always like run forward, and I'm just like I got this. Just stay back. Okay, why did I do that? Anyway, the sad part, the worst part, no Kraiths. It's the second time I've had no Kraiths. It was sad.
You regressed to the mean, Chuck.
I did.
Crathed out against Bill. That was it. That's all you had.
I got I thought I had longer lasting potential, but
9 Kraiths in
8. I got 8. It was 8.
8.
Yeah.
You got 6 against.
No, 5.
Okay.
Sorry.
So it was still 8 in a 3-round event. So
yeah, but like that's a tough list. I'm looking forward to playing it again. Alex is a great opponent. I look forward to giving him more friendly shit in our next game because that's just what we do at this point. But yeah, Matt, how was your third game?
Well, my third round was against Okami and his KO, a.k.a. the Bane of Fire Slayers. I would run over to try and get him, and he'd fly away and show up behind me and then shoot me, and I'd run over there, and they'd fly up and go the other way. Yeah. Now it was, again, like I said, Okami was tactically superior in every way, and yeah, it was I was glad to see KO doing what KO does, like, because I really haven't gotten my hands on him since the new book came out, because it just once I saw how they played, I was like, that's not really what I wanted, so I really haven't investigated too thoroughly. And I haven't been able to play against Neil, so it was good to actually see him on the table and see what they can do. It's about what I was expecting them to. It's still interesting to see how a shooting army works in AOS, like an all shooting army.
And you definitely brought a knife to that gunfight, Matt.
Yeah.
Knife.
Yeah.
He brought a Gotrek.
Yeah. Did Gotrek catch anybody?
No. Yes, no. No, he didn't.
Okay.
No.
Not on those short legs. Not gonna get him.
Down at 4 inches with no moving bonus.
No cogs. Oh wow.
Not gonna do it.
Dave, how was your final game?
Well, I want to preface this with, first of all, I'm at table 1 in a final, which is the first and last time that will ever happen. So I was totally fish out of water there. But yeah, I had, as Mike pointed out to me several times, so now I'm even more ashamed, I had the advantage because the battle plan favored monsters. I have 4 monsters in my army. My opponent has
Bill had none.
No monsters in Bill's army. I think he said it was the first time he's ever run without the Terrorgeists. Yeah, sure enough, I got my ass beat. uh, so early on, I took the lead because I had first turn. Um, so I had the lead. I was winning. And then he has some awful spell that gives plus D3 to the attacks characteristic of a unit. And holy smokes. He came in with those dudes with wings. No, it wasn't them. It was the, I don't know, the ones taller than ghouls, but not...
The horrors.
Okay.
Crypt horrors.
Sure. And they just have a very basic attack line, but I think it was 2 damage per attack or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he just destroyed everything because he got +3 attacks for them. So he's rolling like 80 dice with these attacks, and it's like, oh my god. And then he double turned me at the end of 1 into 2, and oof, boy, that was brutal. I almost annihilated the unit that kept getting refilled with that chalice, but no luck there either. So I think by the end he was down like 40 models or something like that, but most of them were from his ghouls that were slowly replenishing. So yeah, it was ugly. But as you said in round 2, Chuck, Bill is a consummate opponent. I even said to him post game, like, you know, when he first came out for one of the Ren 4 events that I was TOing, I was really not into that because I'm someone who once bitten, twice shy. At a tournament, I played against some tryhards that thought they were playing for table 1 when we were playing at like table 70 or something like that. And
That's the worst.
So,
yeah.
So I don't like the tournament atmosphere, which is why the event you ran, Chuck, and the event you ran, Mike, were fantastic because it's a tournament without the atmosphere, the negative atmosphere. That's great positive atmosphere. And I said to Bill, look, you know, I came here. I knew my chances were slim. I knew I was going to lose this game, and yet I felt I had a chance. Probably not true, but I felt I had a chance. And at no point did I feel like he was being any kind of an asshole or anything. He was a fantastic opponent who will just tactically destroy you, but you're going to enjoy every minute of it.
Oh, yeah. So
yeah, I think that Bill is the point case and match that, like, if you're sitting there and nickel and diming someone and using every single advantage, every rule to your advantage to try and get a win, if you're doing that, you're not as good as you think you are.
Yeah.
If you can win and still give your opponent the advantage, then you're the superior player.
Let's
only that.
Trying not to make sure we don't become the Bill Sousa fan club podcast, which we're very close to becoming. Let's not forget, like, Bill is more of a Renaissance man than people think. He is a fantastic general. He just thinks about these types of games in a very strategic way that is on a next level, that he's willing to teach and share. He's an amazing sport, and he was amazingly, like, his army is beautiful.
Oh yeah, that looks fantastic.
Yeah,
which is also what you don't expect from those. Yeah. What I don't expect from a top tier player. I don't expect a top tier paint job. Yeah, and yet there it is every time.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm gonna promote just the general, because like Ren 4, Steel City, Pittsburgh, and Ligonier. I'm gonna bump us all up here because anytime we have events, like at least as far as Age of Sigmar goes, like all the armies are looking good.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah,
there's a lot of attention to detail and a lot of
there's
just,
care. There's care.
You can see the blood, sweat, and tears, and it's fantastic.
Well, I was real happy. Chris, you know, he got all that together, painted up for that event. Yeah, I think he was real pleased with himself for that. But
he even got a display board.
He was definitely posting progress. Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't he say that was? I think that was the first time he ever had a fully painted army. Didn't he say something about that?
Was it?
He's usually showing up, you know, he's like always in progress, you know, he's trying different stuff. So there's like always something missing out of it that's not painted, but he got that one done.
And it looked great on the table.
Yeah, huge
congrats. Those Magma Dross looked fantastic.
Yeah, huge congrats to
Ben and they tasted
Chris.
Great.
Yeah.
Little spicy.
Yeah, just a little bit. Hurts a bit going down, but worth it.
Nice. Did you have any?
Like a hot pocket.
Jeez, Mike, did you have any standout bits from the third round?
I enjoyed hanging around Dave's game and watching him. I believe Neil was asking for updates, and I was sending him some updates of the games and what was going on. And I told him, I said, Dave Roke is playing on table 1, third game for the tournament win. And I believe Neil's words were, "Wow, that's got to be one puckered asshole right there."
Actually,
so I just kind of hung around that table a good bit and watched because, like Dave said, the scenario really did favor him. And I thought, Dave's played that list a lot. At least he's got experience. I think he can lean on a little bit, by now and may be able to pull it out. But I was kind of glad in some ways that he didn't, because I didn't make I beat Bill Souza a Warhammer award. And when he first started talking about coming to what he was going to bring to the event, Bill, he was going to bring a Night Haunt list that was just awful. Maybe even worse than the one he took, but he ended up not bringing that. But I thought if he brought the Night Haunt, I was like, I'm going to have to make that award. And I may have to make 2. I said, I know no matter what he brings, he's going to be able to pull one game out.
Right.
So I was thinking I might have to bring 2 of those, but he switched to Flesh Eaters, and I was like, I'm going to roll the dice on Bill here. He's not going to lose with Flesh Eaters, no matter how bad his list is. But I think I wandered over there. I think Dave was up like 13-9 or something like that at one point, and I was like, this is looking pretty good, Dave. But it didn't happen.
Yeah, not quite. But I want to say this real quick too. It has been a while that I post a lot on social media, Instagram, Twitter, all that sort of stuff. I took pictures of all the games, like, and some in progress. I didn't post a single picture to Twitter until I was driving home. That's how much fun I was having. I didn't it just with this group of guys. Well, I was riding next to somebody. I wasn't driving, but
that's good.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, that caught me off guard too. I was like, I should probably post up what I did today. I just posted 5:30 in the morning, going to an event, and then it's 17 hours later, here's my games.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's the idea.
That's great. Oh, do you want to talk about Sigmo, your little addition to the pack for some fun?
Yeah, I tried something to do a little fun. I felt bad. First of all, going backwards, Chuck was asking me for the tournament pack. I said I was going to do this. It was all official, and then there was radio silence for 2 weeks. Chuck was like, well, where's this pack at? I want to start making lists. So I just put the pack out as quick as I could. Within 2 minutes of me posting the pack into the chat, Chuck was like, here's my list. I'm done.
Yeah, I already had a list. I knew exactly.
I thought you were going to think about this, maybe toss some ideas around. No, I want that pack. Here's my list. Boom, done. And he was good for the next 3 weeks. But
then the day before, I gave you crap again. Where's his pack?
Yeah. But I didn't really have any narrative stuff in there. Not that this was narrative, but just it wasn't that little hook, like you did with at your event for those that wanted it. And not that it's like that, but I wanted to have something. I can never choose secondaries. When they give you the choice, choose 2 at the start of the game. I'm always looking across the table I don't know. So I was kind of looking for something that if I was playing in it, I would just look at. I made a bingo card essentially, called it Sigmo, and just put all the secondaries on there with a couple in-game things you could achieve to fill the card out. And that way you wouldn't have to think about what secondaries you were going to pick. You were just going to go for a Sigmo on the card, which Okami accomplished.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was kind of a fun way to do it, because I chose my first 2 for my first game. I know I can get these, because every army has 2 you can get. And after that, I was like, well, let me try for these ones. Let me try for this one. So. Yeah.
There's a little added benefit. For me, like I said, I can never pick, so.
Yeah.
I didn't think that far ahead. I just rolled dice, and I generated mine randomly every game.
Way to be the distraction player.
It worked reasonably well, honestly. So.
Well, how did it, all of our games wrapped up, Mike, so, do you want to shout out to the award winners for the event?
Yeah, will do. Of course, as we mentioned, Ben from your club, Ligonier, took the best painted the Beasts of Chaos. I had put this on a peer vote, just so I had less to do with it. I don't like solely judging armies and stuff like that. I don't really like it. I'd rather there's 8 people there, and everyone's friendly, and I know everybody picked up the paintbrush for it. So I wanted to give everyone a voice in it, and I always like seeing what the results of those are, because I think you get a better idea across 8 people's opinions rather than just one guy.
Right.
So everyone voted on that, and it ended up being a tie. So I had to break the tie anyway.
We still
how
screwed
many?
you.
How many people tied?
It was just 2 people.
Okay.
Nice.
But
How many different people got votes? Because out of the 8 players, the standard was pretty solid.
I'd have to go back and count, but there was I think there was at least 4 people who got votes.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, that's great. What was the other awards then?
We had Bill Souza won the event, of course, and then Matt got the Johan Award.
Justly earned.
Yeah, I wanted to make some trophies for it, so I just I grabbed some starter set models. I actually got one off of Bill from the original AOS box set, the Celestin on Drakov.
And he gave it back to him.
Got the Archeon, put that on top of
Yeah. And then the Lord Arcanum on the Grip Charger. All those starter sets, I think, being a Stormcast player, I think I had, those in triple.
Yeah.
Each one. So that worked out, and I just cut some oak board wood from the local hardware store and glued them down, put a screw in it, and stained it. Painted best general, best painted, and the Johan Award. Rather poorly on there because I didn't practice any script painting by freehand, which probably was a mistake. As I'm putting it on there, I'm like, this looks like. Yeah, I'll just tell them one of my kids did it. It'll be fine.
and just for people at home, it was the Johan pre-Celestin Prime.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's no, I think those types of trophies have a lot more meaning, just because it's local. It's between each of us.
Yeah, I wanted to do something to give everybody. I'm not good on the printing paper out, and stuff, and the frames like you do. I think those are cool too. I just wanted to do something a little more handsy.
No, I like the trophy idea. I to be honest, I default to the printing out of paper because I have a color printer at work I have full access to. I'm decent at Photoshop, and I know where to buy frames pretty cheap. So
there you go.
That's my go-to. Yeah, it was a great event. Is it going to become a yearly thing?
I think so.
Okay.
I definitely think so. I have, I bought some canopies for that. A table.
Hopefully some anchors.
Yeah, well, I had anchors. Thanks for bringing it up, Matt.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I have all the stuff to do it. Got the yard to do it. My family was fine. Everybody was happy. It was good. They said we ate donuts for 2 days after that. So as long as the donuts come, I think we'll be all right.
See, here's the problem I have for next year is I'll probably mix up and invite some different people, but I know everybody invited this past year is still going to come just to hang out. So that's probably what's going to happen with you. It doesn't matter who you invite. The same group's coming. It's just, are they playing or not?
See, I've heard Chuck say this, and I take that as one of us here now is not getting invited next year to Chuck's event. So he's just letting you know it's okay to still show up.
Well, I have to get a portage on next year because there's we have double the people. The people who are invited just show up and have their own little mini event next to us. What the heck?
Hey, what are you doing? I'm just fertilizing the garden.
What are you doing? Having a yard sale. That's looking your way.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, yeah, no, great event. Thank you very much for having myself. And everybody was pretty sure I can say that from everybody. Thank you for inviting us and putting it together.
Oh, yeah, thank you so much.
Oh no, it was my pleasure. Like I said, after going to yours, I had so much fun. I just kind of wanted to, pay that forward again and give people the chance to come to something else like that.
Well, see, sadly with the weather getting colder, those events aren't probably going to happen. But like I said, my local club is getting back into our venue, so we'll be out of the weather starting this month. So still some AOS in everybody's future if you're willing to make the drive.
Yeah, that'll be how we get it in the near future.
Or if Legions fixes their plumbing and decides to open, and Yeah.
Ugh.
I
I
would
don't know
like
what.
to point out, and I have no stake in the shop, but Battlegrounds is available for gaming, and their gaming space is sufficiently large that it would be relatively easy to get 8 people in there, socially distanced as much as reasonably possible, and to play something there. So
There you go.
indoors, I'll have to bug Matt and see if I can get something arranged with a date and just have a little Ohio Invitational.
Yeah.
I like it.
That's why I said,
You
like,
guys across the board.
the Ren 4, Steel City Sigmar, and Legionary Legions, I just consider us sister clubs because we're one big club. We just share hosting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Really.
speaking of, is there any word on a Ren 4 winter tournament?
The last I heard, so the plan was that Neil was ceding control of that one to the gang from Columbus. And the last I heard, they were really not sure of what's going on because of the pandemic situation
Oh.
going on. If
I
that's
guess
going to
that
make
makes
it
sense.
possible.
Ren 4 is a little bit of a bigger event.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know they were trying to run, I think, 32 players, which is complicated right now.
You wonder how it would be if we did, because like I was watching Honest Wargamer the other day, and they were talking. Scott was talking about how he went to a tournament that was done in pods. Maybe you could do a 16-man Columbus pod and a 16-man wherever you guys are Ravenna pod,
Yeah, that would work.
because that's more manageable.
Yeah, less people
don't-
at a time.
yeah.
Just spread. It's a tournament spread out over time. That's
Interesting. I don't know.
I'm sure they'll
I've-
reject it immediately, but
I've loved the small group feel of the 8-man. That I
Yeah.
think, because then there's you're playing 3 out of the 8. I mean that's a pretty high percentage of players that you're seeing, and keeping it a limited number is good for the pandemic situation, and it controls the level of asshole that's going to be there, because I know I'm going to be the biggest asshole at the event. So
Yeah,
this is where you
I
guys
didn't-
can be like, no, guys, you're not an asshole. Come on.
no, we won't do that. We won't do that.
I think that's the key thing about having it in your backyard is you just don't invite the assholes.
right.
So it's fine.
Yeah, that's
But
about
I-
it. You got read it in my pack when I did my event. It's like there's no sports score. If you're an asshole, I wouldn't invite you.
Right. Well, like the fact that I wanted to bring some Pittsburgh people up meant that like there were some great people at your event, Chuck, that I'd have to drop off the list. Like it would have been great to have Cole out, stuff like that. But like we just you got to cap it somewhere. So.
Yeah, sadly.
Yeah.
Understand. Well, I think that will probably do it for this episode. Mike, it was great having you on.
Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I mean, we will have you back on again. Hopefully, without being guilt tripped into it.
Right.
But yeah, do you want to give another shout out to Steel City Sigmar and where people can find that?
Yeah, I mean it's been a while since an update, just with everything going on. But hopefully next year get into some situation where we can get back to gaming. So you just find us on Facebook, Steel City Sigmar.
Nice.
You don't find us, we'll find you.
Dave, where can people find you?
Mostly on Facebook and via the Ren 4 group on Facebook, but I have been again shamed into having a Twitter account, so you can find me at Night of the Dave on Twitter.
Nice. Matt?
As always, you can find me on Twitter at LAZENCANTM, or just message Chuck and just say "Attention, Matt."
That works too. Yep. As for me, you can always find me at strengthhammer _ Instagram, Twitter, or strengthhammer.net, strengthhammer YouTube, all that sort of stuff. So yes, stay Stormcast strong. But before we go, because we missed it last time, Matt, can you give us a quote unquote sponsor brush for hire message, please?
Oh yeah, hold on a second. There you go. You want? Wait, I got a big one.
Matt, keep it mild. Keep it
No.
mild.
We'll give it on. All right.
This makes for great radio, Matt. Just
Yeah, I know. Listen. I totally forgot about it. I totally
his cue
forgot
cards
it
are
was a
clearly
thing.
hanging on the ceiling.
It's never happened before. And, strength for Heimer. Strength
What?
for
What? What?
Ha! Take 2.
Easy for you to say.
Strength for hire.
Do it live.
Oh boy. We'll do it live.
Edit this part out.
Nope.
Brush for hire. Paint? No. Sean paint. You know paint. He paint good. Brush for hire.
Bye, everybody.
Wow, really limping to the finish line, Matt.
I like